Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, unfortunately, on the 15th of this month of January, a young woman by the name of Jamea Harris was unfortunately shot and unalived, so to speak, while she was visiting with her cousin and her boyfriend, allegedly, in Tuscaloosa. Now, the two young men who were charged with capital murder were two young men by the name of Michael Lynn Davis and Darius Miles. Now, Miles, which is the one on the left, allegedly provided the gun that Davis, the one on the right, shot this young lady with. Now, both of them were charged, and a lot of people were asking the question, oh, well, why are both of them getting charged if only one of them shot the gun? I feel like that's a very tone deaf and very backhanded question to ask, considering the fact that the both of them are responsible for taking the life of a young woman. She was too young for this. You know what I'm saying? And she had a son. A young boy now does not have his mother in his life because of some stupid foolery. But anyways, it always boggles me and kind of infuriates me when people ask these kind of stupid questions, like why do they both have to be charged when they were both involved with it. But anyways, before I get into that, to give the situation a little more context, allegedly, and I keep saying allegedly because, I kind of have to, but allegedly, this young woman was going to spend, some time with her boyfriend and with her cousin. She was out with them, minding her own business. Somehow she ran into Miles and Davis, and I guess they wanted to talk to her or they wanted to get into a relationship with her. That's the running theory right now with the situation, which is why I also waited some time because I wanted to get some more information before I just put a video out there. But the running theory that people are going with is that this was another issue of rejection, that this young woman turned down his advances because she already had a boyfriend. She didn't want to talk to him. She didn't want to go with him. And they got into their car. She tried to leave with allegedly her boyfriend and her cousin, if I'm not mistaken, were the other two people in the car that she was with. And they blocked in her car, or their car, rather. And then, as I said, Miles provided Davis with the gun that he later then shot into the car, and she caught one of the bullets. Now, apparently, allegedly, the driver of her car also made some shots quite naturally, right? But unfortunately, she was the one who got hit. And so even her mother was saying that she was, of course she was furious, and she took to social media and said that that boy was only mad because my daughter didn't want to go with him. And a lot of people are saying, oh, that's not the issue. That's not the case. But we've seen a lot of cases like this popping up, especially as of late. And I feel like, again, this is another Black community issue, again, that boils down to people not knowing how to handle rejection with grace and maturity. In the Black community, we need to teach our sons and daughters, especially our sons, how to handle rejection without snapping at somebody or trying to assault somebody or take their life. Now, they also said on top of all of this, in the reports and all that kind of stuff, that this young man by the name of Miles, he was already unhinged because he was a basketball player, but he had received or sustained some kind of injury to his ankle, and he could not continue playing. So he had to come to grips with, sometimes these kids, they make basketball, football, whatever sport they're playing, they make that their entire life. And I get it, if they're so good at it, that's great. But they need to be taught and shown that there is more to life than the sports that they're playing. That they are another person outside of that, and not to root their identity in what they do or what they're trying to do for a living. I don't know if y'all have ever heard the saying, don't marry your job, because the moment you got to walk off of that job or you get injured or you can't do it anymore, it's going to be devastating. Okay, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy and have a passion for what you do, but there's a line that needs to not be crossed with that. And when you cross it, there are consequences that you have to deal with. Now, like I said, we need to teach our young boys how to deal with things that don't go right in their lives with grace and maturity. You don't get to go and give a gun to somebody, to shoot somebody because of what you're going through. And, a lot of people can say, oh, well, that's not the truth. That's not, why he did it or whatever. The issue still needs to be addressed. The issue of rejection still needs to be addressed. There have been women who have expressed all over social media that they don't even feel comfortable going out, especially to certain places, because they are afraid of what will happen if they get approached by some dude who wants to, start up a conversation with them or get their number or see if they're single. And then they have to tell them, listen, I'm just not looking for somebody right now, or I'm in a relationship. Like, none of that matters to some of these young men. Some of these young men do not care, nor does the thoughts even cross their mind, which is just sad in itself, that some of these women, maybe they just don't want to be in a relationship. Not because they think that they're too good for the guy, or they're trying to be, like the stereotypical, oh, I'm an independent woman and I don't need anybody. Sometimes women, they might have just gotten out of a relationship and they don't want to just jump into a relationship with some dude that they just met. Maybe they're trying to work on themselves before they get involved with another human being. Maybe they have a boyfriend, like I said, and they're trying to be a good woman, or they just simply love the guy who they're in a relationship with already too much to be out here entertaining other men. Some of these young men are not operating with a sound mind. They have been validated in their craziness, in their crazy thinking, in their toxic mentalities. They've been coddled. They have been taken up for in their wrong. They have big egos, pride the size of Texas, and they don't feel like they should be turned down, or they feel like they are entitled to any woman that they want. Like, how dare any woman think she's good enough to turn them down? Some of these women, they're afraid. They're literally afraid, because if they say anything to these men that they don't want to hear, it can result in anything. And there are some women, they were with their boyfriends. Just, I want to say like a year or two ago, there was a story they broke where there was a young woman walking down the street with her boyfriend. And a man approached her, and because she turned him down, he shot her. That's just completely crazy and just out of hand. And it's so nearsighted, because it's like, okay, well, what then? You get so mad you want to shoot somebody because things didn't go your way. But what are you going to do afterwards? You not going to not get caught, right? So what are you going to do afterwards? You know what I'm saying? See how crazy that is? But we've validated that thinking in the Black community with some of the toxic mindsets that we have let run amok. Like I said, some of you women, y'all need to stop coddling your sons. When they do crazy stuff and say crazy stuff, you need to hold them accountable. And the same thing goes for the men as well, because we're not just going to put this on the women. You fathers out there, y'all need to be around raising your sons and making sure they're not out here doing crazy stuff. Y'all need to make sure y'all hold them responsible and accountable for the things they do, and teach them how to be young men, respectable to young women, and productive, decent members of society. To add insult to injury, after all of this stuff has happened, it just came out that the young man, Davis, his lawyer basically said he's not the bad guy in this situation. And I guess his lawyer decided to go with the angle of throw his friend under the bus who provided him with the gun, to try to make him look better, and try, I guess, to make it seem like Miles convinced him to shoot this woman, that he didn't want to do it, that it was all Miles, which is no surprise to me, because that's the kind of shady stuff that some lawyers put off, because they're only worried about money, getting paid, winning, okay? None of what's going on matters to some of these people. The lives that are being lost doesn't matter to them, because it's not their life. It's not somebody who they care about. But it's really sickening, though. It's really disgusting, because it doesn't matter if he did convince him to shoot her. He still shot her. You still have to be crazy in the head or have something seriously wrong with you to shoot somebody. Over what? Over what, really? So all that he's not the bad guy, that's a load of bullcrap. You can throw it in the trash, because it's bullcrap. Both of them being charged, I'm not surprised. Because again, why did he have a gun anyways? And even though he couldn't play ball anymore, he still had a lot going for him. Too much to do something stupid and crazy like what he did. So I'm not surprised that they charged both of them, because both of them are responsible. Of course, they need to hold the one who actually shot her even more so, but both of them are responsible, because one provided the gun and then one did the shooting. So I'm not surprised that they were both charged. Now, again, it's disgusting that people are still saying, oh, well, he didn't mean it, or, oh, he was a good kid, or blah, 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 this. Don't none of that matter. Because some of these kids, they're really not as good as some of these people, their parents, try to, chalk them up to be. Deep down inside, they have some issues going on that have not been addressed, that have been covered up, like I said, coddled. And it just took one bad situation and an unfortunate victim to bring those problems to a spearhead. And it's really sad that that young woman, who's a mother, mind you, and a daughter, got caught up into that. And like I said, the fact that there are still people making excuses for these young men just shows that we have too many issues in the black community that still have gone unaddressed. Too many problems running amok with this kind of stuff that people just keep covering up and making excuses for. And it's disgusting and it's sad. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel respectfully down in the comments below.